First thing is that whenever you log in, please switch on your camera. You have to keep your camera on. That is rule number one. Second thing, you have to keep your microphone muted until unless you have some queries, questions to ask. Because many times you have some noise at your background, you're talking to somebody and suddenly it's unmuted and there's a lots of different noise coming. So that makes disturbance, that to everybody and even during the session also. Third thing is that those who have paid for the program, there's a few participants who must have paid for the program and for the certificate and study material. Paid program means those participants who are looking for the certificate of the program and study material, video recording of the session. So please don't forget to fill the form, certificate form. The certificate form you will be having your Zoom meeting email. In case if you have not received, just mail us. We will give you the link to fill the certificate form. Fill the certificate form properly with proper correct name and email, because that is what it cannot be print on the your certificate. So make sure don't do mistakes there. Otherwise, the certificate will come with the mistakes. Fourth, your name on the screen should be the same as you have registered. Please keep your name same as you have registered, same name, or you can use email also. The email ID of yours through which you have registered the program, the name and email should be the same. It should not be like that Redmi 5, iPhone 6, something like that. It should be a proper name, your name or your email ID, correct? So that we can know that who is in our session, right? And whenever you have queries, question, feel free to ask. Don't worry about that if it is important or not. Many times there will be some silly questions, that. Don't worry about it. Ask. You have queries, ask. That is how we learn. Don't feel any shame on asking even the small question, because we all are from different background. Many of us may don't have any knowledge about R, never heard about the R. Just because we have heard data science, we wanted to learn R. So you have to go with the basics and everything. So this 6 days program, obviously when Dr. Parmar will join us, he will explain you what are the things he will be covering in this program. He will explain each and everything. Just to brief you that in this program, we will take care of all the basic part of the programming of R, installation of R. It's very simple language, and the codings and everything, and obviously other parts of the basic structure of the R, so that we will be familiar with R and to go with the more advanced level in the other programs. All right. Uh, the the language of this whole course will be in English, because there is a lots of participants from different part of the world. Few of maybe from the African countries, few of maybe from European countries, some of maybe India and Asian countries. So whole program will be in English. Don't expect in any local language of India. It will be pure in English. You have any queries, questions, you can type it on your chat box. And when you if you have during the if you have any internet issue, let's say that you have internet issue during when Dr. Parmar is taking the session, you can keep your camera off, because maybe you have bandwidth issue, then you can keep your camera off. Otherwise, we will be prefer to those participants who has camera on, right? On the 6 days, after 6 days of program, you will be get the certificate of the program if you have paid for it. And also study material and video link will be provided to those every day, because let's say that day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, it will be get updated in the Google Drive, and through which we will be adding all those participants who have paid for the study material things, right? Any other queries, questions, we will be entertaining on WhatsApp group also. We will be sharing your WhatsApp link or WhatsApp group link also of this program, and email, by phone. We are very close to you. Don't worry, just give us a call. We will be attending all your queries, questions. All right. So I'll just wait for Dr. Parmar. Sir, you there? Okay, he just taken a break because we just finished one program, 5 to 7 program. So he might need a 4-5 minutes break to have a tea, coffee. So once he'll back, we'll join. All right. Meanwhile, whatever the instruction I have given, please follow it. All those participants who have joined just now, I kindly request those participants to keep your camera on, right? And make sure that you are very sincere about the program. This program is not to, that just come and walk and go. You have to be sincere. You have to be sincere about it. I think Dr. Parmar is here now. Sir, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for
Welcome
the.
to the program. I just give you a brief about the Dr. Parmar. Those who knows him in past, that is fine. But still, those who don't know, he has more than 25 years experience in the industry, nationally and internationally. Worked with the government organization, non-government organization, private and government both. And last 10-15 years he's training lots of data scientists, and through him lots of PhD has been completed. So it is best chance to learn our data science from him. So that is what I think. Not I think we all think worldwide knows him, people knows about him, and I request respect his time and learn from him. So thank you very much. Welcome, sir. Over to you, sir. And I
Thanks for the.
also, sorry, sir, want to introduce our representative from Nigeria and that region, Okobasi. Okobasi, you there? Mr. Okobasi.
Yes, good afternoon
Good
from
afternoon.
Nigeria.
So people from Nigeria and that region, if you have any problem regarding the payments or something, you can contact him directly also, because many times it happen that there is a problem with the payment gateway or connections or anything. He will be there to support. He is our official representative there. So welcome, Mukobasi, and let's start the program, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone. Good evening, and first I share my screen with you. Then we could start the thing about what we are going to learn in this 6-day session. Okay. So I think, am I audible to you all properly?
Perfectly well, sir. Perfectly well.
Okay. So
It is visible.
this is the whiteboard. I think is on your window now.
Correct.
And I just start with what we are going to cover in this 6 days workshop. It is not generally a workshop. It is a training session. We are providing you the training and the learning of data analytics with R. No problem, Mr. Rajkumar. You could turn off your camera. No problem now. Okay. So if somebody has problem with the bandwidth, he or she may turn off their camera. So I just select my few pretty colors for presentation. I like these few colors, which I use mostly. And select this. And then we start. Wait for a while. This one. Okay. In the 6 days workshop, we cover following topics. First, we cover the, sorry, change the color. First, we cover the essentials of statistics. Second, we cover the R basic commands. Our basic commands, we learn about the data types and the basic functions of the R, which we use mostly. Third, we learn about the descriptive analysis with R. In the descriptive analysis, we will learn about the univariate analysis, learn about the bivariate and multivariate also. Okay. So these three topics we will cover here in this 6 days workshop. And first we understand what is statistical analysis, what is data analytics, what is data science, and how many types of the analysis are there, the classification of the analysis. And this we understand first. So I would like to share this PPT with you. I think this PPT is on your screen, on your window now. So you see there are so many things on the upper side of this. The Python is a language, advanced Excel is also a tool, R is also a programming language, SAS, W, data analytics is the topic we are, the subject we are going to cover here. The data science is also a field. The deep learning is the artificial intelligence, statistics. So this all we have. And R, Python, Excel, Tableau, SAS, Power BI, SPSS. These are all the tools by which we could do the data analytics and the machine learning. All these we could do the process of the artificial intelligence, the machine learning. This all we could do this with these tools. These are the some major tools we use. Some other may also be over there. And here we learn the main thing is the different sort of analysis, like the descriptive analysis, the inferential analysis, predictive analysis, and the prospective analysis. And later on, we will learn this our univariate analysis, the data visualization, data manipulation, correlation analysis, hypothesis testing, k-means, and many more things, linear regression analysis, neural networks, k-means, so many things we will learn over there. And then we use these all algorithms, the sentiment analysis, the churning analysis, meta analysis, pandemic analysis, market basket analysis, customer segment analysis, so many more places we could use these all. So because we know that wherever data, there is statistics. Okay. So first we see the general definition of the generic definition of these statistics, which is very simple. Statistics is the science and art of collecting, classifying, computing, analyzing, interpreting, and presentation of data and its insights. So basically the statistics is a science and an art both. Okay. So first we understand why it is science and why it is an art. So for this, we will use some example. I have a small data set here, 258, 10, 7, and we have to find out the mean of this. So someone could find out the mean of this. Please you try to find out the mean of this. What would be the mean of this data? Yeah. Please you write on the chat box the mean. Calculate the mean and please you write on the chat box. Okay. If you look to the chat board, you see that everybody's mean is same. It is 6.4. Okay. If there is no calculation mistake, you are all getting the same mean. It is the mean is uniform. Okay. So because we are using some formula is there for calculating the mean, some technique is there for calculating the mean. So we are all getting the same response, same result. So therefore it is a science. Like in the chemistry, if you see, if we mix the acid and base, what we get? We get the salt and water. So anybody will get the salt and water. Nobody will get the alcohol out of that. That's not possible. But that is a science. So it is a science because we all get the same result. because we are using some mathematical formulae over there. So so that is it is science because of we are getting the uniform results. Now we see why it is an art. So I will show you one more example for this. So you look this picture, there is a glass of water. So how do you interpret it? Please you interpret it. How do you interpret on the chat box? How one can interpret it? Half full, unmoulded, correct. Half full, half empty, correct. Honestly, correct. Most of you generally use that it is half full and half empty. So I explain you. So some of you are telling that it is half empty. And some are telling that it is half full. Whenever we get the result in the statistics, we get the results in a numeric form because we work on the data. Okay. And then we interpret that result in some text form. Okay. Interpretation is always be in the text form. So when we interpret the data, so we have to see the value, and there are so many things behind that value. We have to analyze it properly. And statistics tells us so many things, but hide the important one that we have to search out from that value. So it means that in this glass, if you see closely, if you have the experience, or this interpretation comes with the experience. So the correct interpretation of this glass, if you see, would be, some has written the right interpretation. This glass is full half with water and half with air. Half with water and half with air. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So that is the correct interpretation of this. It comes with the experience. Okay. If you do the analysis and if you do the analysis of so many results, then you could find out the what would be the correct interpretation. Are you getting my voice, everyone? Am I audible to you? Okay, you may log out and log in if somebody is not getting the voice. May log out and log in again, so you could get the voice properly. It may be some technical issue. So it is the correct interpretation. It comes with the experience. Interpretation of the result always comes with the experience. If you do the work again and again, if you see the interpretation on the internet, you see the interpretation of the result of this thing, what would how we could interpret it, you could learn through it. With the experience, you will get the good interpretation skill. So it is an art. Art always requires some experience. If you want to learn some music, then you have to do practice more and more. Then you could learn it better way. So it is an art. So this I explained you that why it is an art and why it is a science. It is a science. So now again we come back to our initial page from we have started it. So statistics is a science and art of collecting. First we collect the data from various sources. It may be from the internet, it may be from some machines produce some data, and then we classify the data in a proper way, and After it, we compute the statistics, whatever mean, mode, median, whatever we require. And after computation, we get the result and we analyze the result. And after analyzing the result, we get the interpretation. We do the interpretation. And finally, we present the data and its insight with a different way, like with a figure, with a table, or whatever, with the text. So does that make sense to you? What is statistics basically? Okay. Now, second thing is the data analysis. What is data analysis? So we are going to do the data analytics here with R. So data analysis is a process. It is a process. It is not science and art. Okay, it is a process of inspecting the data and then clean the data, transform the data as per row and columns, whatever required for our modeling, and then model the data with the goal of discovering useful information, informing conclusion, supporting decision making. So this is the data analysis. It is a process. It is not a science and art. And it is a process of doing inspecting, cleansing, transforming, training the model with the goal of, and behind this data analysis, there is statistics. Okay. Third thing is data science. Data science is an umbrella term that encompasses data analytics, data mining, machine learning, several other related disciplines. Data analytics, we know that if we know the objective of our work, then we are doing the data analysis in a proper way. Like if we don't know the objective, or we have the data, so many data we have, and then we do the data mining and we find out the insights from that data and useful information from that data. That is a data mining without any objective. And we don't have the objective in our mind, but we are mining the data. We are collecting some information, useful information. That is a data mining. Machine learning is also there. That is for the predictive modeling. And the several other related disciplines like the deep learning and the so many things. Data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, process, and algorithm and system to extract knowledge and insights from many structural or unstructured data. Okay, structured data and unstructured data, what does it mean? Structured data is like a Excel sheet. If you see, and in the SQL sheet, SQL you see, we see that is a structured data, row and columns we have everything. But unstructured data is like an image we have, and we have the text messages. These are all the unstructured data. So we know that the data science is related to data mining, machine learning, deep learning, and the big data. These all things covers in data science. Okay. Here I have written one thing. What is first statistics? Statistics is what? Whatever we compute in the statistics. And whatever we do the computation in the statistics is called the statistics. So what is the first statistics? Can somebody explain? Tell me on the chat. Yeah. What is first statistics basically? Can someone write on chat? Descriptive is a type of analysis. It's not a statistics. It's a type of that. Yeah. Someone else can write on. Collection of data and observation is a process. It's not a statistics. Understanding data is also a process. Parametric and non-parametric is not a study. These are the type of tests. Parametric test and the non-parametric. I explain you what is the first statistics. If you have a column, if I have a column of gender, and we have 3 categories in this column, and these categories are male. Just a moment, I think that it will not work. Female and transgender. And suppose we have total 80 participants, and we see here the frequency. Male is out of 80, 50 is male, and 25 is female, and the 5 is transgender. Okay. So frequency is not a statistics. It is a part of the data. It is a something in data. It is a part of data. It is not a statistics. What other thing you would use instead of frequency if you have to represent this? Percentage, correct. Vijay, you are correct. We use the percentage. So if I use the percentage is what? Percentage is nothing. It is basically a proportion that is multiplied by 100%. That is a percentage. And proportion is what? Proportion is nothing. It is basically a probability. Probability means favorable outcome over total outcome. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So proportion, we get the proportion 50 over 80 and we multiplied by 100%. So we get, okay. So whatever the, if you have the 50, then we get it one time and it 2 times and then at 5 times. 12.5 into 5, it is how much? 65, I think. 6.25, sorry, 62.5, sorry. It is 62.5. So we get the 62.5% over here. Here is similarly we get find out for 25 and we could find out for the 5 also. So it is the percentage is the first statistics we use in the descriptive analysis. Basically percentage is, if we go in the root, it is the probability. So the statistics starts with the probability. Does that make sense to everyone? Statistics starts with the probability and statistics also ends with the probability. Statistics also ends with the rank is not a first statistic, that is the dispersion basically. I am not the proportion is, what do you mean by peak? So I am not the proportion is. Am I audible to everyone? Isa, you are not getting, I am not audible. I am audible? Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that Isa, now you are getting me? Okay. If you're not getting my voice, log out and log in again. Okay. So we will. So why it is the ends with probability? Why statistics ends with probability? We see. Most of you know that from the research field, maybe the research scholar, or maybe know the inferential analysis, hypothesis testing. In the inferential analysis, final conclusion how we get. We create one hypothesis and develop one hypothesis, and we find out this through tests. Okay, some test like t-test or the ANOVA, whatever we use. And the test result we get, we compare with the p-value. Finally, we compare with the p-value. If at the 95%, if we have a 95% confidence level, then the level of significance would be 5%. It means the 0.05. And our p-value, the test p-value, what we have conducted, is less than 0.05. Then our null hypothesis has been rejected. Does that make sense to you? If our p-value is greater than 0.05, then our null hypothesis has been accepted. So it is the decision you are taking behalf of probability, based on probability. You are accepting or rejecting the hypothesis on the basis of this. Finally, you are doing this conclusion basis of probabilities. Though in the inferential analysis, you see it ends where? It ends with the probability. In the machine learning part or the artificial intelligence part, if you see, if I talk about the chatbot, you already know that it is now coming with so many applications, like the banking application. If you see, there are the chatbot, and there's so many applications we are getting with the chatbot, and the website also we are getting the chatbot. The similar to chatbot, we know that the Alexa is there, Siri is there, Sophia is there. So many bots are there. So Alexa is the voice integrated bot, which respond to you, and also Siri is also voice integrated. When we integrate the voice with the chatbot, so it is like a voice integrated bot. It is speech. And if I talk about the chatbot, that is the machine learning or the artificial intelligence. So there are two models inside that algorithm. One is a user interface, and second is a dialect management model. The user interface model, if we are inquiring something, the same subject we are inquiring in a chatbot, so my statement would be different from your statement. Our intention would be same, but our text would be different. Maybe different or not. Instead of same intention, we have a different way of writing, different way of asking something. Am I right? Yeah. So what this user interface model do, it just guess out your intention, such out it find your intention, it conclude with the probability. There are so many intentions we have fed over there, that is called the intent, and there is an entity also. We are not going in the much terminology in deep, but we are talking about the intent. We have an intent of inquiry, we have an intent of complaint, we have an intent of warning, we have an intent of threat. So we have like this, so many intent we have there. So we have asked some inquiry, and the user interface model will find out the probability of each intent. It will find out the probability of the inquiry intent. It will find out the probability of the thread intent. It will find out the inquiry of the complaint intent, and it will get the different probability of each intent. If it get the probability of inquiry intent 0.80 and the inquiry of some other intent like the complaint is 0.25 in this way. So whichever the highest probability, it will transfer it to dialect management model, that intent. It will transfer that intent to dialect management model, and that dialect management model will respond according to that intent to you. Does that make sense to everyone? So where we have concluded it, we have concluded with the probability. Okay. So here also in the predictive analysis, we also ends with probability. Human mind, our brain also work with the same thing. It also work on the probability and the prediction. Our neurons also works on this way. If we climb on the staircase, our feet will be kept on that stair according to the height of the stair. Automatically it gives some prediction. Here would be the step, next step. If you go out, go to home from your office, you don't have to always be too much concentrate on the path you are going. First left, then right, then left, then right. You don't have to keep these all things in your mind. You automatically reach to your home with your vehicle. It is the prediction. Your mind predict everything. You have to get right, you have to get left. And you go in that way. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? So it is also on the prediction we works everything. So this is all about the first statistics I have explained you. There are so many things, but I will not explain at this moment. We will explain it later on when we go in deep. So we have data exploration, and there are so many other things also. So you, after data wrangling is there, then data mining is there, and data warehousing is over there, feature engineering, feature selection. Okay, so I am not explaining these all things at this moment. You may get the confused. We will discuss this on later sessions. Here I will discuss with the analysis, the classification of the analysis. Analysis refers to breaking a whole into a separate components for individual examination. And a whole into a separate components means we have we divide the analysis in different parts, like the descriptive analysis, the inferential analysis, the predictive analysis, and the perspective analysis. So we have divided these components. We divide that analysis into different components. In the descriptive analysis, if you see, we have written there what is. Whatever we have in the data, it is a descriptive analysis. How many males are there in workshop? How many females are there in this workshop? This is a descriptive data. The age of male participants, average age of male participants, the mean age of male participants is a descriptive data. Mean age of female participants. And the correlation of their age is also a descriptive analysis, between male and female candidates, participants in this workshop. So this is the descriptive analysis. Inferential analysis is what is, why it is. If we see if we want to know, there is no significant difference in the mean age of male and female in this workshop. So we use some test. We have set one hypothesis. There is no significant difference in the mean age of male and female in this workshop. So we will set some test. We will use some test like t-test. There is a mean. And there are some criteria I will explain you later in the inferential analysis part, how we decide whether we have to use the t-test or the Wilcox test or whatever the parametric, non-parametric. This is the beyond things, but we are taking some test. And through that test, we find out that we reject or accept our null hypothesis. Suppose our null hypothesis has been rejected. There is no significant difference in mean age of male and female. And this null hypothesis has been rejected. It means that there is significant difference in the mean age of male and female in this workshop. Okay, there is a difference. It is a significant difference. It means we could find out the cause why this difference occurred. Okay, so inferential analysis is the study of cause and effect. Okay, so does it make sense to everyone? Is there any doubt? You could ask me. If you're not getting understand, you could ask me any part. Yeah. Okay. No one has any doubt? Okay. So just a moment. I think somebody is written. Yes. No one has any doubt. Okay. Nice. Third one is the predictive analysis. Predictive analysis is what I explain you. If you have a data of last 50 years of rain in a certain region and the crop production of that region, or last few years or the 50 years, we just hypothetically we are telling it, and we are making one predictive model through this. Say this millimeter rain will occur, the crop production would be this much, and every year we have the rain in the whole or rainy season, total rain we have, and the total crop production of that year we have of that region. So we could develop one predictive model throughout this, and we put the current year rain in that model, or we could find out the crop production, what will be the crop production this year. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? So this is a predictive model. Okay, so if we put the x millimeter or rain and y metric ton would be the output. In this way would get hypothetical. This is the machine learning. And there is one more thing somebody has written here in the chat board: prediction of future values from past data. That is the predictive analysis. There is two things. One is the prediction, second is the forecasting. So can someone explain me what is the difference between prediction and forecasting? Yeah. You know, correct. Time series is a forecasting. We know that. Correct. Nice. And now I am asking about the difference. What is the difference between prediction and forecasting? Yeah. Please, someone can explain me. Prediction may be not sure, forecasting may be sure. Forecast for short period, but prediction for long term. Prediction is component based on available data. Prediction be used independent variable. Find the value of dependent variable. Prediction is a gauge. Okay. So many people written so many things. Okay. Forecast sure to happen, and prediction might not be. So, but in forecasting, we only require past data. Okay. So many people write so many things, but what is the difference between prediction and forecasting? I will explain you. In the prediction, both model are being trained with past data. In the prediction, you also require the past data. In the forecasting, you also require the past data. But the major difference is that in the prediction, we require some current input. Then we could find out we could predict that thing. Like, as I explained you, the rain and the crop production. So I will input the rain, how many millimeter was the rain this year. Then I could find out the prediction for crop production. Does that make sense to everyone? There is a requirement of input when you predict something. Is it clear to you? Okay. But in forecasting, if you have a data, we are considering the data of rain only for last 50 years. Or I am forecasting the future rain for the current year, for the next year, next to next year, and up to 5 years forecasting I am doing. But I require the past data also for the forecasting, for searching out the trend. In the forecasting, I don't require any input data. Does that make sense to everyone? I don't have any requirement of input variable. Is it clear to all? Okay. Is there any doubt? Anyone could ask me. Okay. So in the prediction, I explain you one thing. Someone has written that the prediction is not accurate, the forecasting is more accurate. No, it's not that thing. Before 5 years, our weather institutions, whatever the weather department, forecast the weather. Before 5 years, they forecast the weather. Tomorrow will be a shiny day. And the next we see there is a rain. And tomorrow will be a heavy rain. So there is a sunny day and that day. So mostly it happened at that moment before 5 years. Okay. So that is there at that moment. But now they predict the weather. They predict the weather. They have the current input. They have the wind speed. They have the humidity. They have everything. So they have created some predictive model. And as per that model, they predict the weather. Now they are not forecasting the weather. They are predicting the weather. We can give the forecasting name, but it is basically a prediction. We are input something, the speed of the wind, what is the speed of wind and the direction of wind and whatever we are inputting in that model, and we are getting that prediction. Because you know that in the past, in the near past, they have predicted so many things about so many storms they have predicted before 1 month, before 15 days. It will come on this coastal region and it will stuck on this day. It was really, it happened. Why? They have saved the life of so many people. Because now we predict the weather. Okay. So prediction is more accurate. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? Continuous is the current input you have to, whenever you want the prediction, you have the current input for that. You could do the prediction. And a prediction is not for a long time. And a forecasting you could do for the long time, but it will not be more accurate for a long time, for a long period. In the near future, it will be more accurate than the far future forecasting. There will be so many deviations in the far future. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? Now you understand what is the forecasting, what is the prediction. Okay. Now we talk about our, just a moment, I'll take that slide once more. Now we talk about the perspective analysis. In 2099, we could forecast the weather. we could not predict the weather because we need some current input of that moment. 2099 current wind at that moment, what would be the mean speed of wind and the whatever the humidity. First we have to predict that whole thing, and then we put that those values in our predictive model. Then we could predict that thing. The basis of forecast model is the time, basically in the chronological order. Time is there, but in the predictive model there is a no time. There is a current input you have. Whatever the input you will feed, you will get the output according to that. Okay, does that make sense to you? There is no time relevant to the predictive model. But in forecasting, there is a time is the essential element. So yeah, prediction basically needs a larger database to be accurate. Correct. Okay. Now we see the perspective analysis, which is the artificial intelligence. The predictive analysis basically machine learning. Time series analysis also comes in the machine learning. Artificial intelligence is what? First we see. I give you the same example of the crop production. Besides rain, there are some other factors which also impact on the crop production, like the soil quality, like the seed quality, sunlight, irrigation, fertilizer, pesticides. Okay, these all things also affect the crop production, and these are all the significant variables. And we include these all, and we create one model. We train one model, and that model predict us. We are feeding these all. The rain is not in our control, but other things are in our control, the seed quality and some other things. So we get the prediction, the X metric ton of crop we will get this year. X metric. But the government but we have the requirement of Y metric tons of crop in the current year. And there is a Y is too much greater than X. Demand is higher than your supply, what you are going to do. Your predictive model is telling. So we have to minimize this gap. We have to minimize this gap. For minimizing this gap, then our backward model, which is the artificial intelligence model, will work here. It will suggest you, as for the soil quality, it will suggest you the seed quality, what seed you have to use. It will recommend the seed. As per the weather of that place, it will recommend the irrigation. Okay. As per the remedies in the crop, it will suggest or recommend us the pesticides, what we have to use. As per the soil or the seed, what you are going to grow, you are going to use, what nutrients is requiring that seed, it will suggest you the fertilizers. So it will give you these all suggestions. So it will increase the crop production and minimize the gap between the demand and supply. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So this is the artificial intelligence which recommend you back. First, we have developed the machine learning model for these all with these all variables, and after some time, it converts in AI. So, what is the difference between AI and ML? So, I explain you. ML is an infant. It is an infant, and AI is an adult. First thing is that both are same. Stages are different. One is infant, another is adult. Okay. Now I explain you. We use the same algorithm what we have used or we are using still we are using for learning purposes in our life. The same algorithm we use for machine learning. So I explain you the algorithm first. We use one algorithm is that is called the supervised learning. Second is the unsupervised learning. Third one is the semi-supervised learning. And fourth one is the reinforcement learning. The algorithm which human being use, same algorithm we use in the machine learning. Nothing different. Supervised learning is what? As you are attending this workshop. So it is a supervised learning. You are doing the supervised learning. Are you agree with me? It is a supervised learning. I am explaining you something, I am telling you something, you are listening it and you are following this thing. Okay, that is a supervised learning. In the infant, if a small child or mother and father teach him or her, say that he is your uncle, he is your aunt, he is your grandpa, you know? This is goat and show some pictures. This is a lion, this is a bear, and this is a snake. This is a supervised learning. Unsupervised learning is what? Sometimes you know that the small children learn some abusing words and they use at home. But you have not taught those words to your children. Nobody has taught him. But they have listened somewhere outside or listened somewhere in the home also. Or they are trying to using those words. Does that make sense to you? So they use they are using that abusing words. That is the unsupervised. Nobody has taught them. Similarly, if there is a utensil of hot milk is kept on a floor and a small child came and touch it, the next time he would touch or not? He will not touch because he has learned himself. That is the unsupervised. Next time he will hesitate to touch that utensil of the filled with a milk or curd. Does that make sense to you? So that is the unsupervised. So the similar algorithm we use in the machine learning. Third one is the semi-supervised. Semi-supervised is what? You know that there are so many videos of the data analytics and for the R and Python learning on the website, on the internet, and there is a Udemy course you could purchase. So that is a semi-supervised. Does that make sense to you? Because you have to use your more efforts to understand those videos. Okay? Because you could not ask directly to the instructor, because they are the recorded videos you are watching. You have to use your mind to understand every sentence. That is the semi-supervised. There is some supervision is given in that video. You are learning through that, but your efforts is more than that. That is the semi-supervised. Then there is a reinforcement learning. Is what? If you give a pen to a child, just like this pen or whatever you give to a child, so it will try to keep it in mouth. Take this pen in the mouth. So then what you will do? You will request him, please you don't take this pen in your mouth, it can harm you. Or and you could warn him, or maybe you could beat him for rectifying this mistake. We are using these approaches, we are requesting, we are suggesting him in this way. So that is when we are going to rectify something, it means it is a reinforcement learning. So few models we machine learning algorithm or reinforcement learning we use in the chatbot. Okay, we train the model and it will give us the intent, which I described you earlier also. As I explained about the probability, and here I discussed about the intent in the chatbot. So when we train the model, and it gives us the intent, what is the intent of this text. So it gives us the intent with the probability, and it gives us the intent as it would be this intent. So sometimes it may be the wrong intent. The model may guess the wrong intent, so we rectify it. So that is the reinforcement learning. We write the correct intent. It is not this is this intent. So the model will learn in that way. It keep it in memory. This is not that. This sort of sentence would be of this intent. It will keep it in memory. The next time, if you put the same sentence, it will give the different intent, what you have mentioned here. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So that is the machine learning process. And in this way, we train the machine, and the feed of this machine learning is the data. The food, what we say, is the data. When we give more and more data, it get adults after some time, and then it will give us recommendations, suggestions, whatever we get from the artificial intelligence. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, now you understand the difference between machine learning and the artificial intelligence. Nice to so this we have studied, and now we talk about little bit about the R. R was released in 1995 as a directed descendant of the S programming language. Firstly, it was introduced as a S programming language. S for the statistics was there, but the Robert and Rehawk has worked on this too much to improve the S programming. And they have given it name R. The both name starts with the initial R. So they have changed the name, or the name was R came in this way. It is written in the C++ for Fortran and itself. The project is currently supported by our Foundation of Statistical Computing and it has also been purchased by the Microsoft. Some shares in the Microsoft says now the major share is with the Microsoft. So there is some along with open source, there is some commercial professional versions also of R. Okay, but it is not a it don't bother about that. The both thing are same. There is for the security point of the data, you could purchase the paid server or the paid R version. Okay, that is for the security point of that. The real time, if you are doing something and the companies are doing something, then they purchase that commercial version of R. Otherwise, there is no problem. The pros of R is excellent range of high quality and the domain is specific and open source packages. And R has a package of for almost every quantitative or statistical application imaginable. And this includes neural network, non-linear regression, polygenetic, advanced plotting, and many other things we could do with the R. The base installation comes with very comprehensive inbuilt statistical functions and methods. R also handles matrix algebra particularly very well. Okay. Data visualization is the key strength of every enterprise language. And with the use of ggplot2 library, it competes all the visualizations tools. The cons of R are the performance. There is no way about it. R is not quick language. Why it is not quick language? If you have a big data, more than 14 million rows, 50 million rows, 20 million rows, then all will work slow. R will work, but it will work slow. It will take more time than Python. Okay. Domain specifically, it is basically, we know that fantastic for statistics and data science person, but less for the general purpose programming. The general purpose programming means if you want to do some image, like the Photoshop like work you want to do, you could do work with this R also, Photoshop work. But it is not like less, it is preferred. We could develop the web application also, but it is not up to that mark, up to the date mark which the Python can do. So very few people use this that uh, field. Very few, very few, not the very few. Quix R has a few unusual features that might catch out programmers' experience with the other language. Unusual feature means that in the most of the programming language starts indexing with 0, but R starts indexing with 1. Okay, so this is the major difference. And the using multiple assignment operators we have. So I will explain you the multiple assignment operators. There is equal to and dash greater than symbol we use for the assignment. But in the other language, there is only one particular symbol used for the assignment. So I will explain you when we start the practical. And unconventional data structures, it could not work. It works better with the structured data set, like the Excel sheet, CSV format, SQL data, where row and columns are there. But if you have the unstructured data like images and text messages, it works. I don't say that it does not work, but not in that way in which the Python works. No, Python does not work good with the statistical analysis and data analytics part. Python is better for our the process for the unstructured data and the machine learning, some other data science. We use the Python. Okay. But for statistical and data analytics part, the R is better than Python. If you see the verdict, R is powerful language that excels at a huge variety of statistical and data visualization applications. And being open source allows for a very active community of contributors. Its recent growth in the popularity is a testament to how effective it is at what it does. Okay. So it is all about R. I will explain you later tomorrow on the graphical user interface and the IDE about R. First, we see some concepts of the statistics, essential of the statistics we study. So what is that? Okay, I share the screen with you again. So we start with some statistics. And here I change the size first, resize it. Those colors. I don't need to colors now. So first of all, we will study about the classifications of the data. The theoretical concepts we clear about the statistics. First, I tell you the first classification, which is according to work. It is for the numeric data. It is for the values. Okay. So this classification, if we see, whose speaker is on, I think someone's speaker. Avoid that speaker first. If you see here, these are raw data, discrete data, and continuous data. Okay. We have three types of data here in this classification according to work. So I explain you what does it mean. Suppose we have to conduct a survey in a big city like Mumbai, and we have to conduct it survey in different areas like Kandivali, Borivali, Vilepalle, and so many places. And the 100 homes we have to do this survey in each location. And what we have to find out the information from each family. This survey, suppose hypothetically we are conducting for the UNICEF, and we are getting the information how many children are there less than 5 years of age in each family. This data we are collecting for how many drops of polio we have to distribute in Bombay city. We could not count the whole city population. We just conducting the survey in the 100 families of the each area. Does that make sense to everyone? And we are getting the data in this way. Output we are in this way. In the first family, we have got 2 children less than 5 years. Second family, no children. Third family, no children. And then 3 children, then 1, then 1, then 4, then 1, then no, then no, then in this way we are getting. Does that make sense to everyone? If we see the unique values in this data, unique values if we see, there is only 5 unique values we have got in this data. So 0 children, 1 children, 2 children, 3 children, and 4 children in each family. Not more than 4 children are there in each family, less than 5 years. So the manually what we do, we write F and X and F. So the 0 children, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 0 children, there is no children in family. There are 12 families. There are 32 families. There are 28 families. There are 20 families. And this way we write this. Does that make sense to everyone? For the discrete data, we do this thing manually. But in R, what we do, when we see the data, we see the numeric data, we get the column in this way, number of children. I write here number of children, column is here, or we get the data in this way: 0, 1, sorry, 4, 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. In this way we get it. But we don't convert in this way because we have some other columns also. There is a male, female, there is some other ACH status is there. There's some other columns is also there. Maybe in the data frames, hypothetical. Okay. And what we do with this sort of data? So we convert this discrete data whenever we get the few unique values, few. Like we have the 5 unique values out of 100. So if we have the few unique values, then we convert that data, that column in a factor. Understand? We convert that column as factor. The factor, when we convert this in factor, then it would be a categorical variable now. It would not be a numeric. It is a categorical. It will treat as a category. Does that make sense to everyone? Whenever we have unique values, very few. When suppose we have another variable we are taking there, we are measuring the weight of each children in the family. So weight column, if I prepare, then I will get the 3.1 kg, 3.15 kg, 3.9 kg, 4.2 kg, 7.9 kg. In this way, I will get the weight. Or if I see the unique values in this variable, I will get the so many unique values, not the very few, with compared to the total data. If I get the so many unique values, so I will not do anything with this sort of column. I will just write as it is. So it is a continuous data basically. It is a continuous data. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, this is the Muhammad. It is the R basic R language programming. Yeah, but it is the R. Why we use R? What is the use of R language, Muhammad? We use it is for the analysis purpose. We use it for the analysis purpose, I think. So for analysis, wherever the analysis you will talk, there is a data, and if there is data, there is statistics. So first we have to understand the data, its classification. Correct, Muhammad? But I don't know the Arabic. So we have to understand the basic concept of the statistics. So we could start with R. R is only the tool. R is not the data analytics. Continuously, the whatever the data, you have the more unique values. Here we have the 5 unique values. If you have the more unique values with comparison to total data, then it is called the continuous data. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So that is the first classification. Now we see the second classification of the data, which is according to nature. According to nature of the data. If we see the according to nature of the data, there is nominal data, there is ordinal data, there is interval data, and there is ratio data. What is nominal data? Data the data which has naming, like the name of city, male, female, gender. Naming is where that is a nominal data. Okay, like if I write the city or the country name, it is the Mumbai, Delhi, whatever. So it is a nominal data, which is not numeric. Second, basically it is a categorical, correct? Ordinal data, if we see, there is a order but not fixed interval in the data. Okay, so it is not a scale, it is a Likert type scale. It is not a Likert scale. Somebody says that a Likert scale, not Likert scale. It is a Likert type scale. Likert type of scale, not a scale. It may be Likert type scale. A scale always has the same interval in the milestones. Like if you see the scale ruler, the 0 centimeter, 1 centimeter, then 2 centimeter, then 3 centimeter, then 4 centimeter. You see the interval between 0 and 1, the same distance between 1 and 2, the same distance between 2 and 3, the same distance between 3 and 4, you will get the same distance. Does that make sense to you? This is a scale. Okay. This is not a scale. It is a Likert type scale. Okay. There is an order. It may be bad to worse to good, like that, but it is not. It is an order only. It is not a scale. So I will show you one Likert type scale. 5-point Likert type scale we are using here. In the 5 points Likert type scale, I am writing here the Likert scale of agreeness. So it is the strongly disagree, then disagree, and not certain, then agree, and finally strongly agree. If I write the coding of this, I give the order 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the values, the strongly disagree. Between the distance between the strongly disagree and disagree is not same as the disagree and the not certain. I explain you what I give with one example. Suppose we have 3 employees in a company on the same post, like the sales. A, B, and C, 3 employees we have. And management decided to give the increment of rupees 3,000 per month to each employee. All of them are strongly disagree with this decision, with this little increment. And then again, management decided to give add on some more increment of rupees 2,000 to this amount, and we give them 5,000 rupees of total increment per month salary. So what happens then? I will explain you. Strongly disagree, not certain, agree, strongly agree. Mr. A, who was strongly disagree with 3,000, with additional 2,000, he is now strongly agree. Mr. A with 2,000 rupees amount. But Mr. B, which he was also strongly disagree, now it is only not certain. Mr. B with this 2,000 rupees extra increment. And Mr. C is just go to disagree. So you see the amount is same, but the scale, the interval is different, not the same interval. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Everybody has a different scale. For this 2000, I give you the example in a proper way. So you could do it later. I just give you that. Suppose this is the 2000. Just use 0, 1000, and this is our 2000. Okay, hypothetically. And for Mr. A, we are talking about Mr. A. He is from strongly disagree to strongly agree in this scale. And Mr. B strongly disagree to not certain, and Mr. C strongly disagree to disagreement. So you see, there is no fixed interval between here to here. Everybody has a different. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So this is the ordinal data. And now we see the interval ratio data. The difference between both interval ratio data is of 0. Pseudo 0 and real 0. If we talk about the pseudo 0, we see the temperature in the degree Celsius. If we have the 0 degree Celsius temperature, what does it mean? There is no temperature. If I say the 0 degree Celsius temperature, what does it mean? There is no temperature. Yeah? There is some temperature or not? Is there some temperature or not at the 0 degree centigrade? There is some temperature. This is the point only where the water starts to freeze. Okay, that is the dead temperature. But there is temperature. It doesn't mean that there is no temperature. It is not a real 0. It is a pseudo 0. Okay. If I talk about the examination marks and somebody get 0, what does it mean? It is real 0. No? It is a true 0. Is it clear to you? When we have this sort of 0, what we have to do? 0 has some characteristic. If you multiply 0 with any number, then result would be 0 if it is real. If we divide any number by 0, we get the infinite. Does that make sense to everyone? This is the property or the characteristic of the 0. But it is a pseudo 0, so it could not convert. If you have a column of temperature and the column of some other quantity, some other physical quantity, it is the temperature in degree Celsius. We have -5, 2, and 0, and 10 in this way. Here we have something like the pressure or whatever. I don't know what it would be. But hypothetically, I am taking 22 and 15 and 35 and 12 in this way. And we are doing the multiplication in this two. Okay. So what we get? We could multiply this, we could get -110, 110. We multiply this, we will get 30. But we could not get it 0 because this 0 doesn't have that property of real 0. It may convert the result in 0. Does that make sense to everyone? Other number is okay, no problem. It is manageable. But this is not manageable here. So in this sort of data, what we will do? We could not remove that observation with 0. Okay, we could not remove it. So first we see the unique values in this column of the temperature. If the unique values is very small, the few unique values we have, so we convert them in factor, and factor is just treated as a category. So no problem. Okay. But if we have more unique values, there's the few unique values. If you have the more unique values, then what we will do? Suppose we have the more unique values. We have -5, -7.50, 8.5, 9, 0, 2.2. In this way, we have so many unique values. Okay, not the few unique values, many unique values. And there is a 0. So what we will do, we will convert them in class interval. We convert them in the class interval like -10 to -5, -5 to 0, and 0 to 5. Keep in mind that this 0 should be on the upper or the lower limit. It should be. It should not be inside that range. No, we are binding it, correct. But keep in mind, the 0 should be on the upper and the lower limit. You don't do in this way, -5 to 5. 0 will come inside it. It is wrong. 0 should be there in the upper and the lower limit. So for this -5, you will write the -5 to 0. This would be our class. 7.5, so -10 to -5. 0 is 0 to 5. 8.5 is 5 to 10. 9 is 5 to 10 interval. It is 0 to 5, or it is 0 to 5 again. So now we find out the class value, the mid value, or the class mark, we could say. Okay, it is nothing, it is the average of this, -5 plus 0 divided by 2. So we get the -2.5. Here we get the -7.5. Here we get the 2.5. Here we get the 7.5. Here we get the 7.5. Here we get the 2.5. Here we get the 2.5. So now you will not get 0 here in this column. Does that make sense to everyone? Or now we could apply this any mathematical operation because there is no 0. It is an interval data. Wherever in the interval data there is real 0 and pseudo 0 both. But in ratio data there is only real 0. Does that make sense to everyone? So generally we say it is the interval because we follow the both sort of 0, pseudo and the real. We give the treatment to the both sort of 0. Does that make sense to everyone? Is there any doubt? You could ask me. Yeah. And whenever we have the temperature like this physical quantity we have, where the pseudo 0 appears, we could apply this. Okay, whenever we have the more unique values with that particular column, then we use this class interval and the class mark. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? So this is our second classification. Now we see third and the final classification. According to function. According to function, if you see, we have classification which we use in R. One is the numeric, second is the character, third is the logical, raw, and complex. This we don't study here. Here we have requirement only the numeric. Numeric may be the integer value, may be the double. Double is a decimal. All over mixed values, maybe numeric. So these are category of the numeric which we could apply the arithmetical operation on this type of data. Character, when we write something like the name of the city, like the gender, male and female, we use the single or double quote. So it is a character. If we write any number in a code, then it is also a character. We will treat it as a character. We could not use in mathematical operation that column, which is a character. Okay. So first we have to convert them in numeric, then we could apply the mathematical operation on that. Okay. Double is nothing. Double is the integer is also there and some decimal number is also. So this sort of column, the mix is a double. Okay. Basically, it is a numeric. But the various library they have given, this is double. Like the if you use the dplyr library, they use it as a double numeric. Instead of numeric, they use double. The type they say it is a double. But in R base, we use the numeric and integer only. But whenever you use the dplyr library, there is instead of numeric, it represents is double. Does that make sense to you? Only the name is changed. Okay. Logical is true and false only. True and false. It is the conditional statement we write and we say we see the answer that it may be true or false. Okay, that is the logical. So this is all about the data types we have studied today. And tomorrow we will have some theory portion more. And at the end, I will explain you how to download the R programming and the R Studio, how to install it. And from day after tomorrow, we will start the practical with R. And tomorrow we study about the measure of central tendency. We don't have to look after about the formula of this. We have to see the concepts only, the merits and demerits. Measure of central tendency. And then we study about the measure of dispersion, mean, mode, median, range, everything. Okay, skewness. Fourth, we study the correlation analysis. This we study the basic concepts of this. All we study tomorrow. Yeah, we will discuss all the R packages. Don't worry. Now, various packages are all we discuss here. So this we cover tomorrow. The next day we cover this all, and we also see how to download R programming and R Studio. What is the difference between IDE and GUI? Why we prefer R Studio instead of R GUI? So I will explain each and every method. Okay. So Mr. Mukesh, are you there? Yes.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Oh,
So, are we done for today's program, sir?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate the time and effort you guys have put in. We'll meet again tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Uh, 5 to 7, there will be another batch which will be running the same course, and then 7 to 9. So, this that 2 hours session will be for 6 days. I kindly request all those participants who have paid, please fill the certificate form. In case if you have not received, you can just contact us back. I'll, I'll try to share you on email also if you don't have received. All right. So let's connect tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a very important session. And those who have any queries, questions, I have also shared the WhatsApp group link. You can just join the WhatsApp group link on the chat. If you want, I can share it again. That's okay.
Please do, sir.
One second. I do it. So those who are on the laptop, you can just save this link if you are not on the mobile, because you need to have a WhatsApp on to join this link. Just you click on the link from your mobile. If you have WhatsApp, you can directly get connected with our WhatsApp group. You can post your queries, questions, inquiries there. We will try to answer there. For the PPT material and everything, for the study material and certificate, you have paid a small amount, that is 1,000 rupees, Indian currency 1,000 rupees, which will be in international currency USD. It will be around 16 to $17. So you can pay this amount, and then you can get the benefit of certificate also. You can get the certificate, you can get the study material, you can get the recording of the session. Many times it happens that your connection get disconnected due to internet, you know, not able to hear. So you can check the video recording of the session, and you can just review it. Or maybe you don't have time for the session, you just come late in the session, you want to leave early, so you can take the reference from the recording session also. That will be chargeable. That is only small amount we have kept just to make it that the operation running. That is Indian currency 1,000 rupees, which is in US dollar $17, which is nothing. Normally this course cost around let's say that I think $250, 14 around 18,000 rupees. So we have just waived it off. We have just waived it off on due to this corona, and we are doing it this service from last March, and we still kept this waiver of the course fees to all the participants around the globe. So we are just keeping this small amount for the operational cost, so that we can maintain our operation. So if you otherwise you don't have to pay. You just can join the course without any cost. If you don't want to get the certificate, you don't want the study material or the video recording of the session, that is free for you. But yes, it will be very supporting and kind if somebody is adopting the that paid session, because due to that we all are able to get these lessons, because the operation is important. You have a team that who work behind this workshop. It's not that me and Dr. Parmar. There's a lots of people who work to make this workshop successful. So every tomorrow again 7 o'clock we meet, all of you. Let's connect tomorrow. Have any queries, questions? Join us in the WhatsApp. How can someone pay in dollars? For payments, you can pay through that bank transfer, online transfer, PayPal. Just a second, I'll just give you those links also. I think I have shared that on the Zoom link, but if I don't know if you guys have checked it properly. Here is the payment stuff for the Indian accounts. If you have Indian banks, or if you're using, you can put it in an account number. Uh, if you're using from Paytm India, Google Pay India, Phone Pay, you can pay here. For the international participants, directly pay this link on PayPal, or you can pay through the link. Have any concern on the payments, you can just connect with us. We'll try to help you. All right. And don't forget to fill the certificate form, because that is very important. Otherwise, we will not able to know that you have already paid for the program, because we need to share the study material and everything to you. So that will be only to those who are already paid and have the registered in the certificate form. So link I have shared also for the certificate form. Have any concern? Feel free. Sharif, I just posted the link of this certificate. You see that those who have already paid priority confirm seats by the paying ₹1,000, your certificate in advance can fill this form. So there is a link there, bit.ly link, so you can pay there. All right. Any other queries, questions which we can answer? Or for the that for the people who are from the region of Nigeria and can connect with our that representative Ukopasi, he will help you. Ukopasi, you can post your email ID also here and phone number, so they can connect with you on the chat box. Can you just post your email?
Yeah, I'm on WhatsApp. All right, let me do that.
For the participants from Nepal also, if you have a payment problem, because in Nepal also there is a problem with international payment. We know that because there's lots of participants from Nepal. Tomorrow we'll share you the bank details of Nepal, so you can pay there and get the benefit of it. This whole program is international. You know that you will see the people from different part of the world. So we are lucky to have that a world together. So in this global crisis, we are all helping each other. So that is how we as a human being, we should help each other, right? So that's the beauty about the Cypher Analytica. The whole world, that take training, learn, and share knowledge to each other. So let's make this world beautiful and work together. Thank you very much. So let's connect again tomorrow. And once again, thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You can appreciate
Thank
that
you.
the effort of Dr. Karman. He has just given back-to-back sessions. That hard working from morning. So please, you can appreciate by just clicking on thumbs up reaction or clap reaction on your screen. You have a reaction button on your mobile. You just click on thumbs up and clap. So
Thanks, everyone.
thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Okay. Thanks.
Fine.
Thanks. Let's meet tomorrow, everyone. Okay. Are we over the session now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Just a second. Somebody may be writing the
Yeah.
that number.
Thank you.
Kashi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, then. Have a nice evening. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone. Did you note down the number of Nigeria person? Did you note down the number of occupation? Okay.
All right, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bokasi.
Thank you. Occupation.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank
sir,
you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Nice. David ji.
Bye. Good night. See you
Nice.
tomorrow.
See you
Okay.
tomorrow. Okay.
All right.
Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Simon. Thank you.